Hi everybody, welcome to West Coast Wallet Watchers. This is my new channel where I'm starting to document the underbelly of living in the Vancouver and the surrounding areas. It's getting a little chaotic trying to keep your head above water living on the West Coast here, so I figured the best thing I could do was just document the rising cost of everything around us, from shelter to food to automobiles, along with teaching a little bit of ways to get out of the system, like crypto. Um, so without further ado, let's dive in. Today's Tuesday, so I'll be going over the used car prices. And if you live anywhere in this area of, we call them the Tri-Cities, Greater Vancouver area, it is very expensive, and transit is good, but it's just a large area to traverse. So I was living in the bottom corner here in Langley at one point, and I bussed into Vancouver and SkyTrained for work, and it was a 2 to 4 hour commute each way, depending on the road conditions. Sometimes we got stuck in snow. It was a little chaotic. So having a vehicle or moving close to your place of work is definitely necessary for some people. Personally, I'm one of the fortunate ones. I get to work from home now for the most part. I go into the office about once a week, and I've just recently moved outside the city of Vancouver, which my experience living in the city of Vancouver was less than desirable. That's part of the reason I'm going to be starting the mental health talk on Friday, where I just pick a topic about mental health and I go for a bike ride on the way I deal with my mental health, and we can discuss that, because I feel like people need it. So diving into the price of cars, say you moved to Vancouver and you need to go get yourself a car. We're just going to look at what all the different prices are here. So if you want to just buy a car, there's nothing wrong with these websites I have up here, these dealers. I just picked the most reputable used car dealer I could find around here. All this is just the market value that I am trying to show here. So if you see a car you like, reach out and go pick it up. But for me, I would have a very hard time paying around $9,000 for a Fiat from 2013. So this is a 10-year-old vehicle, 4-cylinder, 102 kilometers. That's quite nice, but that is, for the cheapest car you can get, that is still very high. Same with this, 127K. So these are all fairly low K cars, which is nice. Even this Kia, so you're still getting fairly low K, but I mean, I was paying around $5,000 for something like this only maybe 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. So it's definitely gone up in price here. Going down a bit, we can see the next kind of step up. We can get this Volkswagen for around 13 grand. Still fairly low K, under 200 kilometers, but when these vehicles start getting around the 200 kilometer mark, you start having bigger things go with them, like you got ball joints and transmissions and all that other fun, expensive stuff. So there's this 12 grand tax, or 12 grand price tag, plus whatever maintenance happens within the first few years of owning it, because as you get up into the kilometers, things just go wrong, and that's the nature of buying a depreciating asset. Or liability, I should say. It's not an asset if it's decreasing in value. So then just a quick look at trucks, because that's what I bought my first vehicle as years ago, and I paid, like I said, about $5,000. So if I'm here looking, there is no way I'd be able to afford any of these. Cheapest one is looking like 160K, 2012 Dodge Ram, Outdoorsman Crew Cab. No picture available, 8-cylinder. But then the price just climbs very steeply, very fast. Next cheapest one comes in at $23,000, and that's a 2014 Ram 1500 Quad Cab, sitting on 142 kilometers. This is just insane to pay these kind of prices for a vehicle. You go into a loan, people get auto loans, and they're essentially just signing themselves up for debt slavery here. It's It's quite sad. And then the car breaks and they still have the debt, and then they have to pay to fix the car on top of that, usually creating a bit of a debt spiral. So then there's another auto mall around here. That's just like I said, I try to just pick a reputable used car dealership to get these prices from. Nothing wrong with these dealers. Just it's just the market value that's the problem right now. So looking here, once again, it's about $9 grand, $10 grand is about the cheapest you can get. This one has 178K. It's a little newer, so it's 2015. But even you go into the next one up, it's still $95 more. It's about the same amount of kilometers, but it's a little bit older. So even just with age, things tend to go on vehicles, even if the kilometers are low. I've had issues with electrical in some of those early 2010 cars. Here's another 2012 Fiat, 71,000 kilometers, so quite low. And there you can see the price has been dropped $2 grand from essentially 15,000 to 12,000. But yeah, you're looking around 10. You can't find anything, at least at a dealer, for the under 10 grand right now, which I know for me that's still a lot of money to go fork out for a vehicle, and especially if I was a single guy just moving here and needed to go buy a vehicle, that's a giant startup expense. And then just for fun, go look at the trucks. Okay, we got a little bit cheaper options for the trucks, but the kilometers are quite high. So 220 kilometers, a 2006 Frontier. That's coming in at 11 grand. So that is definitely up there. 2011 Tacoma. Tacomas are always expensive. But 417,000 kilometers. And then you're spending 11, or basically 12 grand on that. I can't fathom spending that kind of money on a truck that's towards the end of its lifespan. Maybe Tacomas can go 500K, but I haven't seen any Tacomas, that haven't had serious work done going for that long. And then when we get one a little, with half the amount of kilometers as the last one, we're looking around 20 grand almost. So yeah, you're gonna be struggling to go to one of these dealers and get a good reliable vehicle. So then the next thing people tend to do is go into Craigslist and the Kijijis. So looking at the Craigslist and Kijijis, the prices are a lot cheaper, but then you get a lot of more counterparty risk. So the cheapest one we can find here on Craigslist is a 2004 Cavalier. When we click on it, I read this one earlier, I found it kind of funny. This vehicle was impounded by my tow company. I have the keys and paperwork. The car is not running. Might be battery, alternator, starter. So for $500 you can go take a gamble and maybe have a car that's working. But the person who did own this car didn't care enough about it to even come and pick it up after it got towed. So that's got to tell you something about the quality of that vehicle. We're not going to really pay attention to these. These are lease takeovers. Let's get into an actual vehicle here. I just stuck $500 as the minimum, but this is another thing. So say you did want to do the lease for $532 twice a month. That's over $1,000 car payment that you have, which is that's rent in my eyes. To be paying over $1,000 a month in a car payment, it's just you're signing yourself up for debt slavery. I can't describe it any other way. That's going to take a very long time to pay off, especially if you have around the median salary of this area, which isn't that much given the cost of everything else around it. Let's see. I'm trying to get away from the leases. Okay, here's $750 at 2004 Pontiac Sunflower. Odometer is $163,000, so that's quite low. I'd be really shocked if it was actually that. Needs a timing chain, not running. So yeah, once again, you can pay $750 for a not running vehicle. Let's try to find the cheapest one that you can get that is running right now. So 2021 Lexus, lease transfer, cash deal, Hyundai Turbo S Coupe. This looks like 12 valve engine, 5-speed manual, not running. So $850, you can have a not running car if you want. Selling for parts. Selling for parts. Lease takeover. There's got to be a selection down here that I guess there is no way to say I just want a running vehicle. I don't want a parts vehicle here. I just want something that runs. So you gotta do some digging. What else? So okay, not $950. We have a Subaru Legacy manual. Almost 300 kilometers on this car. Starts up and drives. Okay, so it's looking like the cheapest car you could get if you were to go buy used is $950. Now I don't know how long Subarus last, but when you're paying a grand for a car that has nearly 300k, you're gonna be expecting to put some work into it. Things are gonna go wrong with it, but this does seem like a fairly reasonable purchase. If you're just trying to get the bare minimum and just get yourself on the road so you can get yourself to work. But then you got this 2005 that has 416,000 kilometers. And is it running? Burning coolant, smoking, will need to be towed. So this has some sort of shot radiator or something to do with the cooling system. A whole bunch of lease takeovers. Just for fun, let's see how much this one is. Payments made 6 times $988. So you have $5,000. Yeah, I guess $6,000. What is the original price of the vehicle? They don't even tell you. But then you'll still at the end of term to buy it out, you'll still have to pay $30,000, I believe. Not to mention the interest rate. I just don't understand how people are able to afford this, even with good paying jobs. Okay, now let's just dive in and just have some fun and see what a truck would cost, because these seem to be always a little more ridiculous. So here's for $1,000 you can get a 96 Ram. It has 315,000 kilometers on it. Runs and drives, but needs a water pump and battery. Water pump's a very big job on a lot of these vehicles, so usually the water pump's the first thing that goes into the engine, and then everything gets built around it. So if you need a new water pump, you tend to have to take everything out of the engine, replace the water pump, and then put everything back in. So that is quite a big job. Depends on the vehicle, though. I must say, I am no mechanic. I'm just a hobby mechanic that has fixed his own vehicle for years, but I by no means am an expert, and I will probably say some wrong things, so do not take my mechanical advice. Going down here, let's see what else we got. Ford Explorer. Let's try to find a vehicle that looks somewhat decent. Okay, 2005 Ranger, 400 wow. 2005 Ranger with almost 400,000 kilometers on it is going for $4,800. I bought a 2000 Ranger about 5 or 6 years ago for this exact same price, and it had 150 kilometers on it, 150,000 kilometers on it. So the prices have gone up exponentially given the quality that you're getting as far as kilometers. Whenever I see rare in the title, I tend to look the other way. I don't like when people put rare in the title of used vehicles. That means they're trying, or any sort of sales ad, that means they're trying to juice you for as much money as possible in my mind anyway. But anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining. I'll be back tomorrow to do the same thing with to try to find a house or a place to rent. That's even more depressing. So tune in tomorrow, and I'll post that video shortly. Bye now.